Yeah. Well, we're
Anyway.
entering into the summer doldrums after the E3,
Hmm.
where it's basically dead until somebody does something horrible or like 35 games come out in the same day.
Yeah,
By the way, England, suck it. You guys are losers.
I like how no one cares about football, but it's just a matter of England losing. That's the only thing that really is the takeaway on the online right now.
I'd like to
Ingerland.
make a I'd like to make a correction on Woolie's statement that nobody that we know cares about football,
No one who's
but
list
apparently
no one who's listening to this, and by no one I mean the proper 80% that are North American, uh,
mm,
give a fuck. But it's still a matter of like opportunity to dunk on England. Sure.
I think, I'm not a big football expert, man, but I was told that they missed like 3 penalty kicks in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
And the
I'd be
results.
ma- I'd be fucking suffering cope too, man. That's rough.
Well, the problem is
Holy
that
shit.
the three who missed it were black players, and so that cope turned instantly into ridiculous, insane, torrential racism, which then also became
Oh.
a major problem in the rioting afterwards. Uh,
Oh. Oh.
so that happened, and I want to say,
Didn't
uh,
know about that.
mm-hmm, that's you know, it's an emotional reaction that causes emotions that are sitting somewhere inside to just bubble up, and that's what it turned into because that's what those three players were.
You know what's like a skill that a lot of people don't seem to have? The ability to lose with grace. Losing with being a good loser is even more important than being a good winner.
I generally agree, but would you say that you have those features?
I am the best loser.
Okay.
No one has ever been a better loser than me, as long as I agree that I actually lost
Um.
and don't somehow jury rig some way to convince myself that actually I totally won.
So, speaking of losing, uh, look at. I'm gonna send you a tweet over here.
I'll look at a tweet.
Take a look at the
Oh yeah, yeah,
information.
no, that's been known for a long time.
Um, Cases of domestic violence go up 26% when England plays, and 38% if they lose.
What a classy country.
Although, I'm sure that's not relegated entirely to England. However, that's a stat that
It's
popped
one of
up yesterday that was like, holy fucking shit.
it's one of those wonderful stats that you look at it and you go, "Wow, England is the worst," and it's like, no, England just has people who care enough to write that shit down.
People
I'm
get
sure
very
if
upset.
you went and took a look at hockey playoffs here
Mm-hmm.
or the other football in
Mm-hmm.
say the U.S., you would see something similar. Though in the U.S., I imagine it would actually be a spike in just straight murders.
The hockey over here was enough for mild mannered Reggie to lose his cool for about 5 minutes the other
Yeah.
day, and we had a little segment on that. Someone who is already very not mild mannered would obviously then escalate to the next possible place, and
Mm-hmm.
that goes alongside other shit.
I, I had a good moment. I was walking my dog the other night, and I got to see like one of those societal things where like no one told me anything, but I knew, which was I saw 4 cops absolutely sprint their asses off out of like a fucking Tim Hortons to their cars and speed away apropos of apparently nothing. And I'm looking at that and I go, oh, we just lost, didn't we?
Hmm.
They're off to put the bait car out in front of the Molson Center or the Bell Center or whatever it is now.
However, surprisingly, there was no riot post Stanley Cup. There was one after the Toronto victory, and then there was one after the team they beat after that, the straight 4. But there was nothing after the Stanley Cup, which maybe it's because like it had a chance to simmer and the energy was kind of like, hey, no one expected them to get this far. And then they got one on the board.
They got 3-0. Everybody knew they were going to lose.
So I think, although with Toronto, they also did get 3-0'd and then they brought it back. So there was a little bit of the hope in that.
I wish we could just take Montreal Rioters and then just place them in Toronto.
Yes.
For an evening. That seems like it would be the best outcome for everyone, including Torontonians.
Now, did you see what Toronto did after Montreal beat them?
I did not.
They lit up the CN Tower to be the Canadiens' flag colors.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So they reached out the olive branch, and they basically were like, "Go Canada, go! Cabs, you can do it."
Do you think if everyone in the city went down there, do you think we could just push the tower over?
even with the Montreal colors on their tower, still shove it over.
I can tell you what you can do with that olive branch. Toronto.
I mean, not everyone was exactly
right
happy.
Up your fucking ass.
Not everyone was happy with that. That peaceful gesture, of course. So yeah. But that was pretty funny.
It's just the idea of like 10,000 hockey fans attempting to just physically push over the tallest structure. Like I think it's in the country. And they're all just pushing at the bottom.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that like, sports losses of a high like magnitude bring out the worst from the worst people.
Yeah,
it's just an easy catalyst because it's just like the place that you exist is you guys are losers now. And now you have to feel like a loser in the place where you're from, and that's it. That's the beginning and end of the sentiment. Is like your entire your entire region zone has now been given a debuff.
Well,
and your city has failed a composure check.
It's this fun little thing where you get to like there's in-group mentality, and like you usually see it like with religions, right? People will feel very, very close to their religious group, but in a sports situation, you get to skip like straight to all the good feelings right away. I watched the game. I went woo woo team. Now I'm part of the gang. I'm a fan. I want them to win. And you get to skip right to either the really good or really bad emotions. In like the span of like 1 hour.
Yeah, no, like religion groups don't have a Super Bowl to have a result that can then lead to. They super should, right? There's no tension release for all these different tribes. You don't have a place where you can go, yeah, this year Shintoism won, and they won in the grand finals, and they totally beat out the Southern Baptists, and those were the two that made it as far as possible, and you don't have that like, oh, they made it, they didn't, and well, I guess for this next 4 years your God's not real. But then we'll see what happens next time around.
You know what? I think going interdisciplinary might cause more problems than it's worth. I think that might cause a few issues, but I'd be down for like the Vatican judo tournament.
There'd be at least there'd be a payoff, and there'd be
Like
a
what
clear
church sent in the biggest killer?
yeah. There'd be a payoff. Oh, I mean the the Buddhists, the Shaolin, absolutely.
No,
but
I just said not interdisciplinary. I want only I want the Catholic Pokemon tournament with the Pope as the ref.
well, look, back in the day, the Catholic enforcers, they had their knights and their crusaders, and they had they were represented in force. But modern day,
Yeah,
not so much.
They had that shit they were doing.
But anyway, my point is that like by having a major competition that has a result that we can see within our lifetimes, you can actually get to that point of like, well, damn, like now your whole crew just lost, so you're shut down for business, and then try again next time, and then the winning one can celebrate the win, and then it validates the whole process for a bit, and everyone who feels bad will probably, I don't know, throw out a little crusade here or there, go on a little, go on a bit of a holy war. But you get it out of your system, and then you come back around next time and see how you do at the next 4 years.
I'm just thinking that this would immediately fall apart for multiple reasons, obviously. But the first of which is how various countries will offer super fast citizenship for pro athletes from various nations.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, hey, this is the Canadian American groups, and it's all first generation immigrants from other countries that just happened to come over a couple of years ago. I can see hey, we're gonna have the interdisciplinary religious MMA fight. GSP, you're Jewish. You're Jewish now.
for
You're
this
on the team.
Yeah, right now, as of this moment.
We got
yes.
a couple rabbis. They'll bless you. You're in.
Get you done up nice and quick. I have no idea, but I get the feeling from a distance. I feel as if this is basically what Warhammer 40K is.
Yeah, a little bit
with guns and bioengineering. I feel as if this is kind of what that is, just religion wars. No? Is that it? Yeah?
Yes. The word religious war sounds like a fake-ass TV show instead of a real thing. Wouldn't it be silly if there were religious wars? What a silly thing.
See, but the problem is it's too many syllables. You just got to cut it down. Faith wars. Every night on CBS. Faith wars. Real simple. But you get confirmation that your team won or lost. That's the important takeaway. Your Pope actually has to eat shit for that moment. No,
I have it better. I have a better solution to this because it has weird knock-on effects to the rest of the religious organizations. The only people that can compete are the leaders.
That might present a problem across the board. Because, there's a pope, but who else has that equivalent? The Dalai Lama, okay. What else?
They vote somebody in.
Yeah, but that's the problem.
Everybody votes for
not
it.
every. I think there's a pope and there's a Dalai Lama, but there's a bunch of others that don't really have that person, at least in
Tom
the format.
Cruise in there.
Well, that's the it would or Muscovich for that matter, but that's the problem is there's not exactly a living representative of every team, so that doesn't work.
Well, it's a religious thing. Bring in the non-living representatives.
Well, yeah, but
just dump a bag of bones at the start line, and when they finish last, say I guess they didn't believe hard enough.
Well, we're trying to air this on CBS, and we're trying to, You know, we're trying to sell some ads here. We're trying to get some commercial spots for smart water filled up. So, you know, I think you'd have to send your best. I don't think the leadership thing necessarily works. But I definitely do like the idea of like the winning one having power over the others for a short while. You know?
How short?
Yeah, the 4-year period. Maybe you learn something.
That seems like a good way to cause like a bigger problem. I think we should put the kibosh on this idea. I think we should go back to the Olympic blood sport idea.
It's fine. You know? You get everybody having to take up the customs of the other groups, and maybe you find out that, like, hey, I like this one. This one's pretty chill. And then
They're not gonna do it.
Maybe you go, yeah,
gonna do it.
this one's pretty chill. I like this. This one has a lot of colorful powders. That one's really fun. I like that one. You know, or you just kind of like find out something that you never would have had the okay to try otherwise. You know. Anyways.